Good evening guys, this is Ace. I am back for another video. I know it's been ages since I've done anything and I do apologize for this. It's just work has been really busy. I mean, there's just too many things to do and too many clients coming here, and I honestly just haven't had time to do anything. But finally have had a weekend, proper one, after what you could say about 2-3 weeks. So I thought, let me get a couple of videos done. And the first thing I wanted to do was this guy. Now, whether I actually got it done is a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. But this guy was actually a little bit disappointing. More from a Gundam point of view rather than a Transformers point of view, simply because I have been making Gundams for a while now, and this is the first Transformers model kit that I've made. And if you compare the two, well, technically there is no comparison whatsoever. I mean, these guys are so far behind in terms of, just the way the Gundam should be constructed, what the parts should be like, and how they go together. It's not even funny. But the final product is pretty cool. I mean, I have to admit, this guy is very good looking in terms of BumbleBee as a character from Transformers. Very cool. There's a lot of nice detail in here. There's very nice articulation. The looks of it is exactly like it would be in Dark of the Moon. I kind of get the image of how this guy was looking in Sam's apartment, when they're just kind of doing some research. But Bumblebee as a character in the end does look really nice. It's just the construction aspect of it really let me down. To give you an idea, there are a lot of small parts where when you put the pieces together, the pegs themselves are so tiny and so thin that they're gonna break. Let me give you a very quick example. At the back over here, you've got this piece of the door that's coming out. Now this one is perfectly fine. The other one I have snapped. Now if you can have a look at this is the piece that you get. It's very tiny. And as you can see, it is very thin on this side. And the way it goes in is that it kind of goes into this little hole over here, kind of like a ball joint thing. Now the problem is that even though the hole on the back of the Bumblebee is okay, this piece here is so tiny and so thin that it broke. I was trying to get it in there, the sizes weren't lining up properly, and it broke. So I've glued it back together again, and I'm just gonna keep it off for now. I'm gonna paint it and all that sort of stuff and then put it back on. Another big thing about this guy is just the sizes. I mean, there's a lot of pegs that go into holes, and they don't, because the size of the peg is too big and the hole is too small. So I don't know. There have been a few cases in I know in the wrist, for example. There was one piece over here in the leg where I literally had to shave off the hole a little bit to make enough space for this guy to go in. Anyway, construction wise, this guy is a big letdown, but the final product does end up looking pretty cool. So let's have a look at this guy's articulation. I was very pleased. I mean, in the build video, if you saw, the inner skeleton of this guy is very articulated. I mean, this guy moves all over the place. But with the actual armor on, you have to be a little bit careful, because there's a lot of pieces that'll get in the way. So you have to be very careful, otherwise things will start falling off. Otherwise the arm does go complete 360. It does rotate under the shoulder. It does bend. And it's just the armor pieces over there getting in the way. Otherwise you can see it is going to be going completely 180. At the moment it's only getting about 90 degrees, 100 degrees, not more than that. And that's simply because of this piece over here getting in this piece. If you take out this armor piece, it'll go up 180. That wouldn't be an issue at all. The waist itself is very nicely articulated. It doesn't go all the way around because the pieces get stuck. Otherwise it does move around quite nicely. This was a funny point. I mean, they had two pieces of articulation in the inner skeleton of the waist, and that made this guy go all the way down. Now he doesn't do this anymore because of the pieces getting in the way, but he does have a fair amount of mobility, so you can move him around a little bit. Just make sure things don't pop off, because pieces do have a tendency of just coming off. I would actually advise when you're done with everything, and if you're gonna paint it and every painting is done, go ahead and actually glue some of these pieces on, because they're not gonna move again. For example, these two pieces here, paint them, get them on there and glue them. There's another really, really annoying pieces over here. This part and this part, they're really tiny little thin pieces that kind of plug into the side of the waist. Same thing, paint them, get them done, and then glue them in there. So you don't have to worry about them ever coming out again. The legs actually are pretty nicely done as well. They do go out, in and out that far. They go up and out very, very far. I mean, this guy is going to kick himself. And it's only these armor pieces, that kind of get in the way. So if you move them around, it's okay. The knee itself, again, it's a very nice bend. It's just the armor pieces that get in the way. And then the leg pieces as well are also nicely. So you do get quite a lot of movement. You don't get too much. Oh, there you go. You don't get too much on the side to side. There is a ball joint, so you get a little bit. And one funny thing is, over here, if you can see this, the wheel is attached to this side here. There is a hole and there is space on this side. Now, why these guys couldn't just plug this part in and make it more of a secure connection, I have absolutely no idea. But, this is just another one of those things. So the articulation wise, this guy is very cool. In terms of detail, again, this guy is popping with detail. Let me see how good my camera can pick this up. Okay, this is very typical of the Dark of the Moon, and as you can see, there's a lot of little cylinders and pistons that you can paint and really bring this out. You've even got over there, it says 900 STRA. I don't know how good that's picking it up, but that's very nice attention to detail. Look at the arm pieces over here. You've got those wires and pistons and all sort of details coming out. The inner skeleton of this guy is very, very detailed. You can have a lot of fun detailing this guy. This is why I'm doing the review first. I thought, let me get the review out of the way, because once I start painting this guy, it can literally, this guy can take you a couple of hours to paint if you just do the overall things, or it can take you 2-3 days to paint, depends on how much detail you want to get done. So detail wise, this guy is fantastic. It's got a lot of stuff in there for you to play around with, and you can really customize a lot. This guy does come with a few different accessories. He does come with the battle mask, and the way you do this is you actually have to do it when you assemble it. You take this piece here, and when you're assembling it, it puts it together, and then Bumblebee can get his battle mask, and that works nicely. You also get 2 other hands. At the moment, I've got both of his hands being the closed ones. You also get open hands. Now, he doesn't really come with any weapons as such, so you've just got the opposing hands. You're not going to be able to do too much with these guys apart from display him. The only weapon you do get is his blaster, his blast cannon, which does look nice. You've got a nice clear piece at the end over there, so it's done nicely. And putting it together is very simple. You just take this part off, which is his hand, and you can just plug this in. There you go. And now Bumblebee is all armed up for fighting. So accessory wise, he doesn't come with a great deal, and I wish they would have done a little bit more in terms of the accessories as well. Give him something else. I don't know, because he did a lot in the movie, so he should have had a few more details in there. But that's it for the accessories. Would I recommend this guy? I don't know. Honestly, I really have no idea. If you are a big Transformers fan, then definitely go for it. There's no harm in getting this guy, even if you're not a model kit guy and you're not a Gunpla builder, so you get it. This guy can be fun for you guys. And, once it's done, sitting on the shelf like this, perfect. You're not going to complain. As a Gunpla guy, I am going to say there are too many issues with this guy. There are just too many pieces falling off. There's just pegs are falling off. I'm actually scared to take this guy apart now. I know I've built this guy together and all the stuff, but I am actually scared of taking the things out because I'm afraid I'm gonna break. See, I'm just putting this little piece back together and 10 other things are popping off. Anyway, I'll fix them later. But there are just too many small, tiny details. The plastic itself is very brittle. It's not the solid plastic that you get from Bandai. It's a very brittle, very cheap plastic, so it's not going to, you know, it's not going to take on a lot of wear and tear. So you have to be very, very careful when you're dealing with this guy. So if you can be all those things and you can be careful and you can provide with yourself with a lot of patience, then this guy's gonna rock. I'm gonna see what I can do with this guy. I'm gonna try and paint him. I'm gonna try and see if I can transform him into cliff jumper so all the yellow pieces literally become red. And the inner skeleton, I'm trying to decide what to do. I want to paint him black and then go in there with, like metallic colors and silver and get all the highlights and details out. But I don't know if the black inner skeleton is also going to match in with the black of the armor parts. Maybe I go in a dark gray or something like that. I don't know. We'll have a look. Alright, this is Ace. I hope you've enjoyed the review. I will see you guys at the next one.